We're going to end the night with Jack's Force against Carson Brown in a 1 vs. 4 matchup, and you're going to see a total of 3 number 1 in the countries in tonight's lineup.
Starting off here at 145 pounds, Weston Borgers out of Christian's Brother Academy in the blue, white, and silver singlet, red ankle band.
Try that one again. Weston Borgers, Blair Academy.
Oh, Blair Academy. That's my bad. Out of Blair Academy, he's in the red ankle band, taking on Matt O'Neill out of Malvern Prep in the white, blue singlet, green ankle band.
Matt O'Neill, 18-3 on the season, 49-4 in his career. Last year, Ironman third, Escape the Rock third, Beast of the East third. He was a runner-up here at Powerade, put it all together to win a national prep championship for the Friars at Malvern Prep.
He's in on an extended single leg right now. Borgers with the wizard now looking to pass ankle. Both guys tying both ankles up. And this is where O'Neill's really tricky in these scrambles. You see he's a lengthy guy, gets in a lot of extended scrambles, also a deadly cradle he can kind of lock up from anywhere.
Weston Borgers, National Prep All-American a year ago, Beast of the East third this year, Fargo All-American twice, U.S. Open finalist. And tonight you're going to see a lot of guys that have success in the freestyle circuit. Just so many guys in their bio sheet. They have U.S. Open finalists. So we were talking about cadets. That's like the premier age level event. And we have so many guys here that have been battling for those world team spots. What a...
Tied up in a scramble once again. It was off the attack by Borgers. And this is what I said. O'Neill really tricky, going to continue to try to progress throughout this scramble, trying to get weight up on that ankle as Borgers is down on the right ankle, but O'Neill able to use that scrambling savvy, gets him down to the mat, picks up the takedown with just 20 seconds on the clock. And you see he has a cross wrist under there as well. See if he looks to turn here. Really tough in the top position is O'Neill as he's looking to go hazard roll through tilt. Short time to go here though. Borgers able to fight it off. It's going to be 3-0 for O'Neill following that nice scramble off the attack by Borgers. O'Neill's choice, he's going to go down to start the second period.
Weston Borgers en route to this championship final opened up with a technical fall 17-2 over Emmerdorfer of Baylor, Tennessee. 13-2 major decision over Plotner of Lake Highland Prep. Big win in the quarters. Bobby Duffy, the Iowa commit, 8-6 win for Borgers, and then beat Tyler Traves of Mountain View, Virginia in the semi 2-1.
O'Neill started underneath, able to work for the reversal. You see he's just started creating action once again underneath, able to come up with the reversal now in arguably his best position, the top position. We saw in that Beast of the East final last weekend where he took on Tyler DeCraker, kind of getting in this tricky scenario that we've seen here and there in high school. It happens a lot with leg riders. And the argument always is what the call is going to be if the leg came in first, if the bottom man stood up first. And the first couple times it's going to be a stalemate, but then we're going to start seeing stall calls coming.
Yeah, it's quite the dilemma. As an official, you have to determine, was the leg in prior to the guy coming off the mat? And right on cue, we're starting to see the scenario play out here. Infamously, the Dylan Evans, Sean...
you're
West
just
Allegheny.
West Allegheny.
He's at West Virginia.
Yeah, he wrestles at West Virginia now. Can't think of it myself, unfortunately. But I was just talking about this the other day. But that state final came down to that call and tiebreakers to end the match.
And there the stall call went against Borgers. He kind of looked over at his corner, and, you have to determine, did the leg come in first and then the guy comes up off the mat, or does the leg go in as the guy is into the stand-up? And that's a decision you have to make as an official. And I really hate that, and he had the leg in first here. Old school like NCAA wrestling, and a lot of times they'll still let it go here, and Sean Taylor was the answer. I was told by officials in college, take your leg out and return them. Like, don't look at me for help. Take your leg out and return. That's not potentially dangerous. And the higher the level of wrestling gets, the more leeway you can have that a guy's not going to get dumped on his head.
And O'Neill able to get in a solid leg ride here now. Gets Borgers broken down to the mat. But like you said, it's a very tricky scenario of whether the leg comes in first or the guy stood up first. If the leg comes in first and the guy, bottom man stands up, you're going to start seeing the bottom man called for stalling, versus if the bottom man stands up and the guy throws his leg in and gets up on the back, then you'll see stall warnings on the top man.
And you really hate to see that call against the bottom man, because what are you taught to do to get away? You get up to your feet and get away. So creating the potentially dangerous call, it's just a tough situation all around.
Yeah, kind of muddied the waters a little bit more than they probably ever intended to do. But short time to go here in the second period. O'Neal looking for the ride out after picking up the reversal to start the period, and that's exactly what he's going to do, able to hold Borgers down on the mat. Borgers' choice to start the third, and he's going to go neutral. And this is plays right into O'Neal's style as well. Really good with guys in on his legs, as we saw him pick up that takedown off the scramble. Now when guys have to come to him, this is where he feels most comfortable. So Borgers going to have to find a way to get in clean, possibly think head outside rather than head inside against a really tough leg passer like O'Neal.
And, another thing, take multiple quadrants of his body. So think outside carry, a regular fireman's carry. That takes some of the scramble away whenever you're attacking multiple quadrants, and especially if you're just down a single leg. That's a scrambler's dream. You're only in one quadrant of his body. He's got both hands free, and then he's got the other foot free to roll over the top, cut back through. So the more options you can take away from him, the better whenever you're attacking a scrambler.
O'Neal able to tie him up for now. Just trying to stay engaged, but it's kind of a snap look to circle right, did Borgers. O'Neal able to tie up that right elbow as they check out of bounds with 57 seconds to go. Now we're getting down to the time where it's 6-5. Going to be hard to pick up two takedowns here. You got to be thinking, like you said, attack something, maybe a fireman's or a dump. As he goes misdirection this time, head outside, chest lock by O'Neal, able to roll him through. Now he holds him on his back. They're going to award the takedown. Now near false swipes being counted. Almost kind of like an assassin position. And O'Neal able to step over the top, and he gets the fall. Like I said, man, O'Neal, a tricky scrambler, man.
5 minutes, 19 seconds. And, he just settled in the position. He rolled through almost a high flyer with a reverse side headlock. Finish it off in the assassin position. He's your champion, 145 pounds.
After finishing his runner-up last year, O'Neal able to pick up a title. Great match there. Props to Borgers for going after it. Had himself in decent position to finish there, but O'Neal able to take advantage. So we're going to wait on our third and seventh place bouts to finish up here, as we will hold all finals matches.
And then taking a look at our lineup, we briefly got to touch on it. Number one in the country, Cooper Deputy. He'll wrestle Max Smith's quarry of Notre Dame Green Pond in that 107-pound championship final. Either one of those guys could put themselves on pace to be a four-time champion. Then we have number one Landon Sidun. He's on pace. He's looking for his third title. He has won 2 tiebreaker matches in the championship finals here last year over Paul Kenny of Christian Brothers. We'll see Kenny wrestle for the 127-pound title. And, on through the lineup, you have guys that have chances for multiple titles. And when you look at the history of the Powerade tournament, guys who have won 3 titles and 4 titles, it's just NCAA champions littered throughout, NCAA All-Americans, just a list that's second to none. And then in the finale tonight, Jax Forrest, he's looking for his 4th title in what could possibly be his final high school match.
Yeah, a lot of rumor mill out there in the wrestling world. Haven't really seen Jack in high-level competition in a couple months. And up here is our 152-pound championship final here at the 2025 Powerade. We got Jason Dube out of Aspire Academy. He's in the red singlet, green ankle band, taking on Charlie Desenna out of Lake Highland Prep in the red, white, and blue singlet, red ankle band.
Dube is number 12 in the country, 9-2 in the season, 4th at Fargo, past U.S. Open U15 champion, NHSCA runner-up, Ironman 5th place finisher. Some of you not familiar with Aspire Academy, it's almost like a people around the country a little more familiar with, like an IMG type that has made more headlines, and they're actually getting into the wrestling game. That's going to be an interesting step into a different sport. But Spire there in Ohio, coached by Mike Kosicki.
Yeah, Dube impressed me at Ironman. He took 5th out there. That was the first I really got to see him in person, and he's had a good weekend this weekend as well. Took out the top seed Declan O'Byrne in the semifinals 5-3.
Charlie Desenna, Lake Highland Prep, number 2 in the country, Super 32 runner-up. He was Beast of the East runner-up last year, Powerade 8th in the past, Prep national champion.
What's really impressed me over the last couple years is the growth Desenna has made, especially in his hand fight and kind of controlling the pace of the match. I remember really kind of making his breakout about 2 years ago, lost to Luke Lillidahl in 2024 National Prep Finals, and kind of kept it a pretty competitive bout. And since then, he's kind of made big jumps, not only in weight, but in his level, as you mentioned, up to number 2 in the country, only behind Bo Bassett. And he goes snap down, able to catch the heel. 10 seconds ago, he's got that leg shelved. Now it's Dube looking to lock up that wrist, possibly think Jonesy roll through tilt here. Desenna trying to free that wrist, but just going to run out of time. And nice attack there, almost kind of like that snap you see Masaona hit, get to the heel, but Dube able to get in that closed Windsor Jonesy position and tie him up for no score after 1. Desenna's choice to start the second, he's going to go down.
And as we were talking about the lineup today, we talked about Bishop McCourt wrestling that scheduled at second, and on Lake Highland Prep is in that tier. You know, you see him everywhere. You see him at Beast, you see him at Ironman, you see him at Powerade. And they switching to the national prep just a few years ago.
Yeah, they looked incredible last year at national preps. I can't remember how many champs they got, but it was several champions. They ended up winning the team title as well. And Desenna able to get his escape, not without a scare though. Dube actually hit that same near side cradle in the start of the second period against Declan O'Byrne in the semifinals. It was 0-0 after the first. O'Byrne kind of stood that near side leg up, that knee, and Dube jumped out front, able to lock up cradle, and that gave him a 4-0 lead, went on to win 5-3. Desenna able to break that lock and get up to his feet for the escape though.
And it's a lot of teams you hear hitting the Ironman, Beast, Powerade, you know, trifecta. They're Pennsylvania schools, they're Ohio schools, not, you know, you've got a good car ride, but Lake Highland Prep coming out of Florida, you know, just the travel back to back weeks, it's got to take a toll on you and really prepares them later in the season. Okay, you grind your body down, and then national preps you can really peak for at the end of the season. Coming out of Florida, it was 63 degrees whenever I poured in the parking lot on Sunday night. All of a sudden, we've got 6 inches of snow today on day 2 and 24-degree temperatures.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a shocker this morning.
And, you know, I'm living in Pennsylvania. I'm not coming from Florida here.
Yeah, so
they're heading back to some sunshine.
Not as much of a shock to the system to us as it is to them. Down to 30 to go in the second. Both guys kind of slowing the pace now. Really feeling each other out in the hand fight. I'd like to see Dube get to some offensive zone as he looked to go swim, possibly thinking outside step, but Desenna able to catch him with this underhook. Now it's Desenna trying to run corner. Dube able to slide his hips back, and they go out with 8 to go in the second period.
I want you to talk a little bit about the rise of the popularity of that outside step. We saw it out of the Russians for years, and I really look at it as I think you have to be a super athlete to get away with the outside step, and more guys have implemented it into their game, and some guys with not the amazing athletic ability that I originally thought that you had to have somebody, you know, like Mavlet Batirov, that type of athleticism to hit it. What have you seen on the high school level here in the development of that and incorporating the outside step?
Yeah, it's really kind of trickled down as you mentioned. Really started, saw a lot of the Europeans hitting it and the Japanese wrestlers hitting it on the Olympic stage. When I was in high school, I'd never seen that attack in my life other than I'd see the Europeans do it. I didn't know how they were doing it. Then when I got to college at Penn State, coaches really started emphasizing on it, and then you saw a lot of the Penn State wrestlers start to hit that move. Then it kind of worked its way around the country, now trickling down to the college or the high school level. All these guys now really good with that swim, stepping that foot all the way back behind the heel, and it just kind of takes away a lot of the defense from the defensive man. You're not able to get your hips on guys. It kind of throws off your timing with your normal sprawl that you're used to on a typical penetration step. But Desenna able to return. It's Doob kind of turning into him, putting him in trouble, and he's able to get to his feet and earn the escape. We're down under 60 seconds to go in the third. Nothing separating these two.
And that's looked like Doob had an opportunity to come up with a reversal. Great recovery by Desenna. Just gives up the one, not the two. You hear the cliche statement all the time. And, there's always a very, very small truth rooted in those cliche statements. I often hate them, but, you can apply it there. One,
yeah,
not two.
That one, it's just kind of math working its way. There was a shot by Doob. Desenna looking to counter.
Just the recovery skills as Doob's floating his hips over the top. Desenna's flat on his backside. The recovery skill there. A lot of times in elementary wrestling, you'll be doing hip heist drills and this and that. And it looks mundane and like super basic, but it's those basics that allow you to recover in those high-level scrambles, having that hip position and awareness.
Creating that athleticism at a young age really works its way out as you get older and you're wrestling in these high-level matches when you're getting in a lot of these exchanges. But we're going to be tied at 1 here, headed to sudden victory. 1 minute on the clock. Any score will finish it off here. Back in low single for Desenna. He's coming out the back door. Crotch lock here for Doob. Now you see Desenna trying to reach that arm over the left foot. Doob doing a nice job sealing off, keeping that toe tight in the armpit, not letting Desenna try to reach over and push that other heel down. But now Desenna turning in towards the head. Doob elevating that heel up, and he's turning it in. He's got Desenna in a bad spot, but Desenna, good recovery. He's extended, locked back on the leg, and we're back almost in a similar position here.
And let's see if he comes back up. He needs to get his backside over that foot. He left the foot exposed, and Doob was able to take the foot off the mat. More feet on the mat are going to win the scramble. Take the guy's drive foot away, and you will win it. Crotch lock, just 8 seconds remaining. Are we going to see a finish here, or are we going to go to tiebreakers? And it's looking like tiebreakers it will be.
Incredible scramble by both guys there. You saw Doob knew the situation at hand. You don't want to turn towards the head in that scramble.
Patience.
Normally you don't want to turn towards the head in that scramble, but with 5 seconds to go, you kind of get desperate. Maybe I can catch this guy sleeping in this position. Maybe I'll be able to break his lock.
But I thought you were talking earlier when he was draped over the top. He was sitting on that ankle waiting, and I like the Ben Askren stuff that you get your backside over and you clear those laces and clear any grip on the foot with your own backside, taking your feet away. Then you're able to turn back through. Doob just sat, waited, knew he had a handle on the ankle, and lifted it clear. Quick escape by Desenna.
Yeah, in our first tiebreaker, both guys will get choice. Desenna able to escape quickly in the first 30-second tiebreaker. Now going double unders, possibly looking like a little foot sweep there was Desenna. Now, if you're Doob, you got to get your escape in this second tiebreaker. It's paramount.
And it was Desenna that went down first in regulation?
Yep, Desenna scored the first point.
Completely blanked on like how many rule changes there have been in different stuff. And I was thinking, they flip for that? No, they don't. I was thinking when there used to be a rule at some point whenever both guys scored an escape, then we flip.
Now his first score will get choice in ultimate tiebreaker. If we're tied after this 30-second tiebreaker period, it will go to an ultimate tiebreaker. Reaching back is Doob's. Now, Desenna's got to be careful here.
Hand down, you got reaction time.
Body lock still here for Desenna. Don't want to give up an interlocking call, but Desenna able to hold on, takes him out of bounds with just 8 seconds to go. No stall warnings on if you're Desenna here, so you can drop to an ankle if you need to.
And it's when the hand is going up and down, you always have the reaction time there because it's up, then it's down, and so it's legal, it's not, and it's reaction time being undefined, and it's quite an ambiguous. And there, where are the hands down? And that looked intentional.
Yeah,
Desenna with the ride out.
Desenna able to get the ride out, and he's going to take the 2-1 win in tiebreakers. Not a lot of scoring in that match, but a lot of great action. Good reactions by both guys, and it's Desenna who's able to come out on top of this one. He is your 152-pound Powerade champion, the number 2 guy in the country, able to come through and get it done. 160-pound championship final here at the 2025 Powerade. We got Melvin Miller out of Bishop McCourt, the black, gold, and red singlet, green ankle band, taking on Zeno Moore out of Lake Highland Prep in the red, white, and blue singlet, red ankle band.
Zeno Moore, number 4 in the country. Ironman third, Beast of the East champ, Powerade finalist in the past, Escape the Rock finalist, National Prep champ.
Nice cross pick there by Miller, and he gets the early takedown, went collar and ankle, and that's his signature shot right there. Able to get the easy finish to go up 3-0 early.
23-1 in the season for Moore. Melvin Miller, 16-1 this season, number 2 in the country, 2-time PIAA champion, 2-time Powerade champion. So we talked about those guys in line to win 4 Powerade titles. Melvin with those 2 championships. Melvin is Super 32 champion. And then I think the biggest credential in the past year for Melvin's got to be that Clarion Open championship that he won.
Yeah, this year at the Clarion Open back in November, it was Melvin Miller winning that 157-pound championship. Wrestled Brandon Cannon of Ohio State in the semifinals. Won that bout 8-5. It was 2 takedowns to none for Melvin Miller. And now Brandon Cannon, undefeated, all bonus points, number 1 in the country in Division I. Just kind of unbelievable the season Cannon's having, and his only kind of notch on his record right now, unofficially, is against Melvin Miller, a high school junior. See some nice action on the edge there, attack, re-attacks. And both these guys, I love the style of both these guys. A little bit of lengthier 160-pounders. You see Miller back to that cross pick, able to catch the far ankle as Moore looked to kick away. And that's where you kind of have to be careful. And it's kind of a, you're kind of cooked if you do, cooked if you don't. When guys get in on that kind of that cross ankle pick and you kick away, turn and kick, it's kind of pulling them into that far ankle versus trying to get weight on the foot and coming into them. But just reaction, natural reaction is to turn and kick. But it kind of does the offensive guy a favor and pulls you right into the back ankle. Short time to go here in the period, just 5 seconds. Miller leading it 6-1 off of those 2 takedowns.
And we talked about Miller having a win over number 1 in the country in the NCAA. That's down at 157. He wrestled 57. Jaden James knocked off Melvin Miller at Ironman.
And that was a 165.
165. Here we're competing at 160. Pennsylvania doesn't wrestle the NFHS weights, so it's a little bit of a mess. Jaden James did compete at Clarion also, but he was up at 165. Lost to his former teammate, Alessio Parenton, at Clarion. So Alessio Parenton tie-in.
Yep.
Melvin Miller beat him in last year's, I believe that was the finale match.
That was the main event. Also came down for the team title. Also, Parenton number 1 in the country at the time. Miller able to take that one 4-3 to win the Powerade title and also win Bishop McCourt the team title last year. Moore able to get the escape. Miller trying to drive off that underhook to that far ankle pick once again. They go out of bounds. And, man, Miller is so impressive with those ankle picks. The length really helps him. Likes to work off the underhook as well. Moore continuing to wrestle into him, though. Takes him towards the edge. Miller wisely circles his butt back center.
Here's something that's really impressive about the Bishop McCourt room. Lots of different body styles in that room. Lots of different ways to be successful. They are finding what works best for them, what's suitable to their build, what's suitable to their athletic ability, and you just go and run with it. You know, it's not like they're being successful all with the same thing. And back to that pick, left side underhook, Is he going to limp arm out? No, he's just going to power more through to his back, pick up the takedown, more bellies down. But Melvin, he's got those long arms, got that good reach, and then just the cat quickness whenever he snaps and misses it to run the corner to that hamstring.
Yeah, you think of Bishop McCourt, their three most well-known wrestlers right now are Bo Bassett, a hard hand fighter, high pace, snap go behinds. Just pace is a big part of his game. You think of Jax Forrest, scrambly guy, good in the top position, good slide by, and then there's Melvin Miller.
Stop right there. The best slide by at the high school level of all time, and he's up there.
One of the best in the world.
Yes.
Bar none, one of the best slide bys on the planet at this moment. Melvin Miller, length, kind of slick, collar, ankles.
The right hand position, watch it whenever he goes to the hamstring. He starts getting the angle, catching that hamstring and run it, and then he's got all the different options from there, whether he's snapping the head and just running corner or if he's taking a leg attack off of it. Everything comes from that right hand getting to the hamstring.
And you see him use that underhook a lot too, try to drive to that far ankle pick. That was something Jaden James picked up on after Miller was able to hit that and get the opening takedown of the bout. Later on in sudden victory, Miller went right back to that underhook, tried to drive to the far ankle, and James hit that overhook throw by. And that's how he was able to pick up the takedown. Yeah, like little throw, whip, limp arm, caught both ankles. So that was really good on Jaden James in that one. Just an absolute classic of an Ironman final. Now it's more with the single leg shot. Miller able to throw the hips back, and they slide out of bounds. Just 4 seconds on the clock. We head to the third. Miller leads 9-3. It's his choice. Looks like he's going to go down. More pretty tough in the top position. I believe he won a 1-0 semifinal over number 9 Griffin LaPlante. Able to ride, I believe, in that one.
That was over on mat 5. Neither of us got to catch that one as we were set up on 1 and 2.
Yes, but Miller not afraid, able to get his escape quickly. Just 10 seconds into the period, he now leads 10-3. Now Moore trying to throw some misdirections at Miller. Miller looking to go back to that pick. Drive him out of bounds. This is where you got to be ready when Miller takes his time coming back center. He tries to beat that whistle quite a bit, and sometimes he gets it. He was able to get it yesterday. It was pretty incredible shooting off that whistle. Now it's Moore driving Miller out of bounds, and that's Miller's first stall warning there. So he kind of just backs straight out. And Moore very mindful of Miller's kind of tactics there of trying to shoot and beat that whistle, keeping that hand down. He's ready for him. You hear Coach Palazzo in the corner for Lake Highland Prep. In the ear of Moore, hey, be ready on that whistle every time. It's 1:05 to go in the third as they slide out of bounds once again. And that time it was Moore taking his foot off the line and waited for Miller to step on first. Good motion by Miller, getting Moore to react and goes fireman's. Moore able to catch that ankle, kind of kept him alive in the position as they go out of bounds once again. And you see Miller kind of giving ground now. Wonder if he's taking his foot off the gas a little bit or just kind of trying to open it up here.
Is there a guy better prepared in this gym, better prepared for somebody pursuing him than Melvin Miller, who competes with Bo Bassett in the room day in and day out? You know, he knows that pressure. He knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, he can wrestle around that pressure. As you see, he kind of a lot of motion, getting Moore to react and keeping him off balance as he goes throw by off the front headlock, Scramble here by Moore. Back hooked on the leg. Miller able to catch him with that crossface. He's got the takedown. Now picking up near fall. And they go out of bounds. 3 near fall on the board now for Miller. It's going to make it 16-3 with just 5 seconds to go. And just a masterclass here by Melvin Miller.
And I got to applaud Zeno more.
Come after him the whole match.
He's fired the entire way. He's wrestled really well in certain positions. He hasn't got the scores, but he wrestled very well. Should really be proud of that performance.
Yeah, Miller just able to figure it out. He's going to take it by a 16-4 major decision. Melvin Miller wins another Powerade title, this time at 160 pounds. We will head to our award stand once again, and then we will be back with our 172-pound championship final here in just a moment.
The 4th place finisher, James Whitbread from State College. Finishing in 3rd place, Wyoming Seminary's Michael Turi. Our runner-up at 152 pounds, representing the Spider Academy, Jensen Doobie. And our 152-pound champion by way of 2-1 overtime tiebreaker decision, Lake Highland Preps, Charlie Desenna.
Combat sport athletes of all time.
Coach for each team.
172-pound championship final here at 2025 Powerade. We got Max Fortier, Maximus Fortier out of University in the gold, red, and white singlet, red ankle band, taking on Gage Wenzel out of Montoursville. Wenzel in the blue and gold singlet, green ankle band.
Wenzel, number 15 in the country, PIAA state runner-up, NHSCA champion, Super 32 place winner, 6th at Powerade a year ago. 11-1 on the season. Wrestled Nikki Singer in that PIAA final a year ago. Maximus Fortier, 15-2 in the season. West Virginia state champion, NHCA champion.
Finger of Fortier got stuck in the singlet there of Wenzel off that 2-on-1 attempt. And you can see Fortier like shaking it and he couldn't get it out of there. The fish are going to stop it for potentially dangerous. Got to see Fortier really for the first time in person yesterday in his quarterfinal win over Lucas Bowe, the number 15 guy in the country. Really impressed me there. This high pace, was kind of able to take over the bout against a guy, Lucas Bowe, who's a really scrambly guy, hard guy to finish on.
And in a semifinal over 2-time PIAA place winner Mason Horwat, really controlled the positions.
It's Wenzel that was in kind of single leg, looked to switch off to dump as he caught the elbow, but nice defense there by Fortier's. He went limp knee and then he was able to face.
You know, he's never in danger in that 10-4 win over Horwat. And actually 2 of those points were locked hands calls, and one was hands were down. And then the new body cradle, I had not seen it called. I was semi-aware of the rule, but not really. And just seeing the position called, I was like, it was a crotch lock. And then speaking with the officials and actually the university staff also, we had some lunch with them and just talking about the different positions there, and like where does the elbow need to come down on the leg in order to make it a cradle or a body cradle, which becomes a technical violation
versus a crotch lock.
Yeah, so it's really tricky situation for the officials to call, that there's no clear definition there.
Nice elbow off, went fake single to the high crotch. did Wenzel, but once again, Fortier able to hold him off, just gets heavy with his hips, kind of hipped in, trapped Wenzel's head in the middle, going to hold on for a stalemate with just 16 to go. Wenzel didn't have his semifinal, was over on mat number 5, but he was able to take out David Perez, number 10 ranked guy in the country in that one. It was a 9-4 win. That was Wenzel's 150th career victory. Just heard them make that announcement on the intercom, but we're going to end the first period scoreless. A lot of action by both guys in that first period. Wenzel with choice going to go down to start the second period. Fortier gets set on top. Nice switch there by Wenzel, looking to go head under the leg. And now this is where you could kind of get into that body cradle position, and Fortier's got to be mindful to not give up another point there.
And this is his position. You know, he likes to get in there. He looks cradle off of it and different stuff, and exactly the point that he's got to be aware of how officials are going to be calling that position, that he likes to come to that cradle and up over the head, but in order to get there and cinch the knee up, you sometimes start with that body cradle, and especially in the crook of the knee, you're probably not getting away with it with the new rule in place. So you've got to be mindful. Maybe start with the crotch lock, unlock your hand, stay on the hip, but then cinch down to the knee, looking for that cradle.
Yeah, that's just really interesting for me. Like, I wrestle with kids sometimes, some high school kids, and train with them, so it's good when I'm able to learn some new iterations of rules or rule changes as well, so I can kind of incorporate that in what I'm showing guys. Because that body cradle is good stuff, pinching that knee and coming up to the cradle.
So by saying it's good stuff, you might make the point for the rule makers that, okay, we want the guy to be able to, you know, so we can't lock hands on top. But I just didn't see a problem with it. I think we're trying to fix something that's not an issue.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I really like that position. I show a lot of guys I work with a lot of guys out of that position quite a bit, because it's a common position, especially like talking like high crotch crackdown position off a guy's attacks if you're trying to sit corner, but it's a little bit different when the guy's in the top position now.
Yeah, it's great technique sitting the corner and working that whenever you're neutral, and then as soon as you get the takedown, you gotta wrestle.
You gotta wrestle it different. Nice work by Fortier on top thus far, as he's able to get another return out of bounds. Over a minute into this second period. Wenzel creating a lot of motion from underneath, just hasn't been able to find that hip separation yet. So you see the scrambles ability of Fortier. Maybe have to approach this a little bit different on this restart. This time coming up to his feet once again is Wenzel. Nice job there by Fortier, able to kind of bring him down straight to the hip, instead of typically you see guys get the big lift, but it'll bring guys to their knees. They're able to bounce right back up. But now leg slip position here by Wenzel, as he was able to swim once Fortier threw that leg in, able to get the hips off of Fortier, gets up to his feet, catches that underhook, and Wenzel going to earn the escape to go up 1-0. That was nice work out of that positioning there. As soon as that leg came in, Fortier, Wenzel hit that swim move. Hips fell off of Fortier. Wenzel elbow back, catch that underhook, and square your hips up.
Maximus Fortier committed to Virginia Tech in that class with Melvin Miller. And when you look at high school guys and styles that can transition to the next level, the top work of Fortier, you know, lifting and putting the guys down, putting a hard ride on, building that riding time, that's something that's really going to pay dividends at the NCAA level.
Yeah, it's promising to see young guys already have those skills in high school, the ability to ride, the ability to scramble.
And it used to be the difference between really good high school wrestling and NCAA wrestling. You always saw it on the mat.
Nice single leg here by Wenzel, and you see Fortier going back to that crotch lock position. And this is where he can throw the hips off and now reach up as he's pinching Elbow behind the knee, is going to try to reach up and lock up near side cradle, but just going to run out of time. Now his kind of perfect positioning is what we've been describing this whole match. High crotch crackdown position. Forier went for it, just not able to have enough time to attempt the cradle.
And there used to be that difference between the high school level and the NCAA level, and really the elite high schoolers that are now, fighting for national championships on the podium consistently. They do not have the bottom problems of freshmen of yesteryear.
Yeah, it's kind of been a switch over the last, say, decade or so, where guys are just so much more prepared in that top-bottom position when they're moving on to the next level. And a lot of that you'd have to probably attribute to the high-level coaching, high-level training partners sticking around and wrestling with elementary, junior high, high school level kids. But Forier gets the escape to tie it at 1. It's another single leg for Wenzel, but getting back in this position, once again, crotch lock, trying to sit the corner is Forier. Now he's in good position to lock up this cradle. Wenzel kind of able to kick and pop his head. Now he's in a leg pass situation. Forier staying heavy on that with that left knee, trying to get behind the elbows. Wenzel trying to back out of bounds here. Forier doing a nice job keeping his foot in bounds. Man, that was kind of good stuff by both guys there.
And for your Pennsylvania wrestling fans, think back Matt Snyder out of Lewistown. That's my hometown. He wrestled at UVA, blood round for UVA, sitting in that corner, attacking the knee, cinching it up for that cradle. I mean, great technique, and it just reminded me so much of watching Matt Snyder, especially whenever he was at Virginia, hitting that.
Now it's Forier firing off a couple single legs. They back out of bounds once again, though, as he was able to get in. Both these guys have had their opportunities. Wenzel, kind of similar to earlier with Borgers and O'Neal. Forier's shown the ability. He feels really comfortable guys in on his legs. Now it's misdirection here, and this is what I was going to say of Wenzel. Do you switch up your attacks here? This time going misdirection, low single, but leg pass by Forier, trying to stay heavy here. Able to slide behind, and wow, nice hip heist there by Forier.
Great fundamentals there. He knew when to go. And then the other thing is he was keeping Wenzel's foot off the mat, early in that scramble. And then whenever he started to lose position, he floats his hips on top, hip heist down, secures the score. Just 18 seconds remaining in the bout.
And that's what I was saying. Wenzel already felt these scramble situations, and Forier sitting corner. You got to switch up your attack here. He went misdirection to the low single, had that head in the knee, was in pretty decent positioning, but Forier's defense just too much. Wenzel, you're going to need a quick escape here. Dropping down to the ankles, though, is Forier. Switch by Wenzel. Forier elevating those feet once again. Kind of wheelbarrow situation here. Now roll through by Wenzel. He's looking for a reversal. Forier able to just navigate his way through the positioning, and awesome match there by both guys. Maximus Forier able to get it done with his scrambling and his defense. He takes it 4-1, and he is your 172-pound Powerade champion. We're gonna head to awards once again, guys.
Welcome to the top 10.
What?
I said welcome to the top 10.
Oh, absolutely. Just had an awesome tournament. We're gonna cut to the awards once again, guys, and we will be back with our 189-pound championship final here in just a moment.
Finishing in 6th place from Brentsville, Billy Tyler. The 5th place finisher, Bishop McDevitt's Nicky Necron. Finishing in 4th place from Wyoming Seminary, Brian Chamberlain. The bronze medalist, Griffin Lamette from St. Francis. The runner-up at 160 pounds from Lake Highland Prep, Zeno Moore.
189-pound championship final here, the 2025 Powerade. We got Dominic Sampolic out of Notre Dame Green Pond in the gold and blue singlet green ankle band, taking on Sarnney out of Blair Academy in the blue, white, silver singlet red ankle band.
Third meeting of the season. Sampolic has taken the first two. 2-1 tiebreaker at Ironman, and then 8-4 in the championship final at Beast of the East.
Yeah, these guys have hit the last 2 weeks. It was Sampolic that was able to get the one at Ironman, but Sarnney actually outplaced him in the bracket, finishing 4th, while Sampolic took 5th. Last week they hit again, and as you mentioned, Sampolic winning his first Beast title.
Sampolic 19-2 on the season. 5th place finisher in the PIAA, was 5th here at Powerade. And then you mentioned 5th at Ironman, Beast of the East champ, Sarnney. U17, we talk about that tournament so much, is the premier age level. U17 World Team Trial finalist. Beast of the East, runner-up. Fargo second, National Prep second. Last year he was a Beast runner-up as well, and Ironman 4th.
And here an interesting nugget at the Ironman. It was actually a rematch in the blood round of that U17 World Team Trials finals between Sarnney and Aaron Stewart, and it was Sarnney taking it 4-1 in the blood round just to get to the top 8 in the Ironman. Just absolutely unbelievable, the depth of that tournament. Sarnney taking ground here on Sampolic. And there's going to be the first stall warning on Sampolic. Is Sarnney able to kind of plant his foot and drive Sampolic back? I believe in that Beast final last week, it was Sampolic able to come out of a couple scrambles, and that was the difference. Also put on a tough ride in the to end the first period. Sarnney almost got himself back in the match with the near side cradle in the third, just wasn't able to take him over for near fall. Sarnney taking ground once again. He's got Sampolic on the edge. A slide by here for Sampolic. Side headlock Merkle position, and good mat awareness there by Sarnney as he kind of sensed they were on the edge.
Yeah, and Sampolic not happy with where the coach's chairs are positioned, that he's saying, hey, my foot was still planted in the mat. I was within the cylinder, foot on the mat, and I feel like I got cheated out of some wrestling there on the boundary line.
I can't say I disagree with him. A little bit tighter here at Powerade, but you kind of got to wrestle with what you're given here. We end the first period scoreless. Sampolic with a stall warning. It's his choice to start the second period. He's going to go down. See Sampolic kind of touching under that eye. Looks like he might have got a burn there from kind of the aggressiveness of Sarnney in that first period. And Sarnney kind of running through the bracket at this point. To this point, as Sampolic gets his escaped to go up 1-0. Really dominant. He's got a fall, 2 tech falls, and a 19-6 major decision in his semifinal. And as Sarnney shoots Sampolic out of bounds, he's going to pick up another stall warning. Going to tie the match at 1. You see Sarnney kind of.
And it almost felt like the momentum shifted in that Beast final, if I'm not mistaken. And it feels like the continuation of that match has, led into this final where Sarnney being the aggressor.
Yeah, and just kind of running his way to the finals, whereas Sampolic in his semifinal, he had to go get one late against Mario Hutcherson, a Kiski area, to win that one 4-3. Sarnney controlling the center of the mat as well. Snap, looking to run corner was Sampolic. That's kind of how he scored his takedown in that Beast final. Went snap and was able to kind of catch the far ankle, and as Sarnney kicked away, he was able to follow that length of Sampolic. He uses it really well. Now is a single leg for Sarnney, looking to hook that bottom ankle. Now looking to lock in the crotch is Sampolic. He's on a hip. Sarnney trying to stack him up on his shoulders. As he's stepping over the head. Sampolic's got his feet locked. And a head scissor call on Sampolic as he had his ankles locked. Notre Dame Green Pond corner saying The arm was in there. I do believe the rule is like you can't
draping.
lock your feet.
Well, and I was looking at the computer for a bit. I kind of missed the situation, but you really got to be in a draping position, like no pressure with the legs, you know, through the armpit and across the neck.
Versus where they were, it was Sarnney turning back in towards the head, and Polic locks his feet. Even with the arm in there, I do believe that's the correct call. So that's going to give Sarnney the 2-1 lead as he's taking ground once again on Polic. Polic fires off the double leg. Now switching off to single. Whizzer here by Sarnney, getting heavy with his hips. Polic looks like he's going up to the waist. Locked his hands, like body lock position. Now looking to hop corner once again there with Polic. And man, he's good at running corner there, kind of catching the far hip and look to hip heist over. Sarnney able to get himself out of bounds.
Interesting footwork there too, where he kind of takes the most direct route.
Kind of, yeah, it's like almost like he's hopping over. And that'll do it for the second. Sarnney leads 2-1 off 2 stall warnings and a head scissor. It's his choice to start the third. He's going to go down. Polic really tough in the top position, but situation of the match, he's just going to give Sarnney the escape and try to go get a takedown here in the third.
And really in high school, without riding time being a factor in anything, you know, it just takes away some of that mat wrestling and strategy. You're not going to – these guys, I don't see a turn coming from top, like just manufactured, maybe out of a scramble and different stuff, but it just kills clock, and Sarnney can really put himself in the driver's seat if he can finish here.
Yeah, he's back in, head in the middle, backdoor position. He's got that bottom ankle hooked, leg extended, head still trapped here for Sarnney though, and a crotch lock for Polic. And Polic pretty comfortable in here with guys in on his legs, but at some point you got to be able to go get your own offense. And so far he's struggled in this match, but you saw how quick he can score with that little snap, catch the hip and hip heist over.
And that becomes more effective late in the match as a fake is really going to have the guy biting because the guy really believes you're coming. You fake, you snap, you run that corner. So effective late in matches whenever the wrestler truly believes you're coming on that leg attack.
Especially a guy with the lead. He's not really shooting to score. He's shooting to get to a leg, kill clock. So it's not as committed as a shot. But now here's a shot by Polic, and it's Sarnney trying to run corner. Polic catches that elbow, trying to go head to the opposite side. Down to 40 to go, and they're going to get stalemated. These guys have been starting on the wrong side the entire match, and I just noticed it now. Doesn't really matter, but just something I noticed. Another shot here by Sarnney. He's able to get in, kind of crackdown position, and Sarnney's got to keep that shoulder buried in the knee. Some secret traps. Getting in a pretty good spot.
Got to change over to Sarnney.
Yeah, Sarnney, you want to try to change it over. They're going to stop it for blood.
Yeah, you got no choice there.
Man.
You love to see it play out. You just have no option.
When a guy's pouring blood like that, yeah, it's not a bad call. Just kind of unfortunate for Polic because he was in a pretty decent spot there to be able to extend that leg, break the lock, and get the takedown.
Yeah, and watch that shoulder position in that crackdown. Anytime it starts to get forward, the defensive guy is really in an advantageous position. Polic had the ankle hooked. He just needed to get some weight on that right knee, get that foot out from underneath him. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see it play out. I would like to see Sarnney hip change there. As he's running behind, you go into him, make him cross-face you back over, and it kind of changes the scramble situation a little bit. But if you just sit there and let the guy inch behind, it gets heavier and heavier to hold that knee.
And then you kind of lose the option of changing over at that point once your lock gets turned and starts to break. 14 seconds to go on the restart. Polic's got to go find his way to a takedown. No warnings on Sarnney. So he looks to go slide by. Sarnney can evade here, able to get to the seatbelt wizard position. Short time to go here, and it's Sarnney that goes limp arm. He's going to get the takedown at the buzzer. And just kind of a perfect match there for Sarnney. After getting a feel for some Polic the first 2 times, you feel he was really prepared in this one. Brought the pressure from the get-go and able to get that one back to bring the series to 2-1 in favor of some Polic. But Salah Sarnney of Blair Academy, he's your 189-pound Powerade champion. And we're going to move on to our awards at 172 pounds. We'll be back with our 215-pound championship final in just a moment.
The 7th place finisher, late Lucas Bowe. Finishing in 6th place, David Perez from Buddy. The 5th place finisher from Melbourne, Chase Hattrick. Finishing in 4th place from Dayton Area High School, Mason Horwath.
Here we go, 215-pound championship final here at the 2025 Powerade. Excuse me, we got Kai Calcutt. He's taking on Tyler Palumbo.
Palumbo out of Christian Brothers Academy, 14-3 on the season. New Jersey State 6th place finisher. He was 6th at Escape the Rock last year as well. Beast of the East, 3rd place. Just a little over a week ago. Kai Calcutt, Loyola Academy out of Illinois. 25-2 on the season. Freestyle All-American, 3-time Illinois State finalist and a state champ. UWW World Team Trials runner-up and a Fargo finalist. Calcutt committed to NC State.
A bit of a slow first 60 seconds in this one. These guys getting a feel for one another. Calcutt number 20 in the country, while Palumbo number 17. These are the 3 and 4 seeds here at 215 pounds, able to find their way into the finals.
In a very young weight class.
Yeah.
Palumbo's tiebreaker decision in the semifinal over D'Amiglio. D'Amiglio, a freshman out of Malvern Prep. And you saw Satoshi Davis, a Slam Academy in the other semi. He's a sophomore. Kendall Orr, the number 2 seed, was knocked off by Davis. He is also a sophomore. So a lot of youth here at 215.
Yeah, you don't typically see that in the upper weights, 189 to 285. These guys have a lot of career ahead of them. A short time to go here. Not really any committed attacks there in that first period. We're going to head to the second scoreless. Palumbo's choice to start the second. He's going to go down right away. Palumbo up to his feet, fighting hands. No real resistance there by Calcutt, just going to give the escape. And Palumbo goes up 1-0. Shot by Palumbo, re-attack, catches the back of the leg. Does Calcutt looking to cut double. Nice kind of pressure back in by Palumbo, caught Calcutt off balance. But Calcutt staying on the legs, he's got the takedown, trying to turn the hips for more, but just gonna end up getting the takedown as Palumbo bases out. Really nice attack there by Calcutt. Palumbo kind of kept the exchange rolling as he hipped into him. But Calcutt going to take the 3-1 lead. 3-2 now with the escape for Palumbo. It's kind of like you were saying earlier in that Melvin Miller match. Calcutt went snap, got the reaction out of Palumbo, was able to catch behind the knee, pulled himself in, cut double. Really kind of saves you the penetration step there when you're able to get your hand and catch behind the knee.
And as the guy's leg starts going away, it gives you momentum. You know, you're able to pull yourself in, so all the power's not coming out of your feet. You don't have to have your feet in the mat dug in as well. Whenever you're just pulling yourself in with that hamstring.
So Palumbo kind of step in there, inside trip out of the front headlock. Feinted at it. Down to 10 to go in the second period. It'll be Calcutt's choice to start the third, and these guys are just going to wait the period out here. Calcutt going to go down to start the third period. Palumbo looks to his corner. They tell him, work for the turn here. So I imagine he's going to stay on top here. Said Palumbo winning in tiebreakers in that semifinal. You can see he's confident in his top wrestling. He goes right to a claw.
And yeah, I was going to say, there's got to be a decision made at some point. I think you always should have a plan of how long are we going to look for the turn. And that decision was made by the corner. He looked over, and they're like, yeah, it's time.
Yeah, Calcutt was being smart, taking his time there, kind of staying balled up, not really opening himself up to any turning opportunities. Now it's Palumbo who's looking drag. Calcutt able to get that arm across and catch the underhook. It's Palumbo that comes up with the hook now, looking to go double underhooks. Kind of in this over-under position. Calcutt able to drive him out of bounds. We're down to 1:01 to go. Palumbo's had a hard time getting through the head hands of Calcutt to this point. Calcutt keeping good positioning. This is where you got to start throwing some level change fakes, get that guy to start reaching his hands to open up your offense. Down to just 30 seconds to go now. Palumbo hasn't really been firing to this point as he shoots a double, switches to single. Heavy hips here, though, for Calcutt. Kind of draped position, but now Calcutt really feeding him hips, staying heavy here. Palumbo going to try to cut corner, but nice belly whizzer whip by Calcutt, and he's going to catch him on his back. He's got 10 seconds to work for a fall. And there's a fall for Kai Calcutt.
5 minutes, 55 seconds. He's your champion at 215 pounds.
I liked that work at it with that belly whizzer, kind of whipped him over. Caught Palumbo being a little lackadaisical there. But impressive work there by Kai Calcutt. And waiting on our 5th place match to finish up. We will cut to our award stand for our 189-pound place winners, and we will be back with our 285-pound final here in a minute.
In 6th place, Angelo Jackson from Lake Highland Prep. Finishing in 5th place from Cradle Drove, Hunter Snyder. The 4th place finisher from St. Francis, Fabio Lucy. Runner-up from Notre Dame Green Pond, Dominic Solic.
It's a leg attack.
And the 2025 Powerade champion at 189 pounds from Blair Academy, Sarnney, by way of decision, scored by 6-1.
All right, here we go. 285-pound championship final here. You got Lucas Zoda out of Malvern Prep in the blue and white pinstripe singlet, red ankle band, taking on Christian Alvarez out of St. Joseph Regional in the yellow-green singlet. No ankle band on Alvarez.
6th versus 8 in the country. Alvarez, number 6, second at Beast of the East, 3rd escaped the Rock last year. He was a runner-up in New Jersey. Zoda, number 8 in the country, 21-1 on the season. Ironman 4th place, Beast of the East 5th last year, Powerade finalist. This year he was 3rd at Ironman and a Beast of the East champion.
Get a little stoppage for the headgear on Alvarez.
And so last year we had this great team race that had multiple, Del Barton was in it, Lake Highland Prep was in it.
Malvern.
Bishop McCord ended up winning the title. And now we have Malvern Prep. They're trailing by 4.5 to Lake Highland Prep. Huge match here for the Friars. 4 points for a championship win. The difference between second and first place points. And there's the takedown for Zoda. So that could close it to half a point. Lake Highland has several more wrestlers going in the consolations.
That was a nice double leg to open the match by Zoda. Now getting to his ride. This is where he's really good with this figure 4 ride. And I had Alvarez in his semifinal against Cale Melnick, out of Blair Academy. It was Alvarez winning that one 10-4. A lot of counter scores off the attack by Melnick. Melnick was going to single leg. Alvarez, really big guy, able to get his hips on him. Beautiful attack there by Zoda. No opportunity for defense for Alvarez. Down to 10 seconds to go. Bar for Zoda had him flattened out. And there's going to be a stalemate with 10 seconds to go. Zoda looking for a huge ride out here. That's a huge restart for Alvarez. Be able to have the opportunity to get a point on the board.
Yeah, the takedown and ride out, such a big thing. Whenever a guy doesn't respond with an escape. As I say that, the locked hands, and the defensive wrestler was up off the mat. The escape right at the buzzer.
I believe I heard the buzzer go off before the break of the lock. I believe the officials are going to have a word about this. I thought I heard the buzzer go off before the hands broke, but they're going to stand with the 1 for the escape.
And a lot of the stuff, St. Joe's was looking for the locked hands, but it was Zoda down on the mat, but the defensive wrestler was standing up and clear of the mat, so you're able to lock your hands. Alvarez up on his feet. And so, as that controversy was going on, they're yelling from the corner, then a secondary tight call ends up happening.
Yeah, kind of a crazy finish on just a 10-second restart. That much could have happened. But good effort by Alvarez to get that escape. Zoda going to go bottom to start the second. And it's Alvarez throwing the leg in right away, going to work with a power half. And man, that's a lot of weight to be coming on.
And it's risky to swim here. I think he could get it if he does swim. He was trying to grab his own leg and keep that arm from being power half. I think he would have been better off swimming. But it's dangerous, especially at the heavyweight, 285-pound weight class.
Yeah, you got to be in real good position and real tight with a good leg rider that's going for that power half to go swim, because if you don't, you're just giving him that arm to extend and just rip on that shoulder. Now going down to the leg and trying to take the leg out is Zoda. He's in good position here now, trying to get height with a back hook at the knee. Alvarez had that bottom ankle for a second, but now Zoda able to get that foot hooked and leg extended here. Shoulder still blocked, though, by Alvarez. You see if Zoloda's able to cut off to double here, and he's able to get it. Nice patience through the position there for Zoda.
Love the transition to the back hook on the knee. I thought he was going to come up with a Peterson position. Didn't end up unfolding like that, but I love the move to the back hook.
That was really nice progressive work there by Zoda on the bottom. And he gets the reversal to go up 5-1. I don't think Zoda heard the whistle there as he was continuing to keep his foot in bounds and trying to ride. We get stopped with 39 to go in the second. And we'll see if Alvarez on this restart is able to explode up quickly once again. As I mentioned, Zoda really strong when he's able to get that right side boot in, start to work on his figure four. Up to his feet right away as Alvarez, and he turns in for the escape. It's going to make it 5-2 with 30 to go in the second period. And kind of a bad look there by Zoda as he just backed straight out. Looks like he might have caught a poke to the eye. He's going to go on injury time.
And it's a weird situation when you get a poke in the eye, like that's your natural instinct. But when it happens on the boundary line, the optics of it to the official, you have to make the stall call. Then you realize, oh, well, he got poked in the eye. I was trying to get away, but call's made.
Yeah, it's a very situational.
You know, it happens in the middle of the mat. You just back away, put your hand up. I need injury time.
You just don't have that space when both guys are on the edge, especially when Alvarez is already coming forward. But we're going to come back. Looks like Zoda's all right. Just 26 seconds to go in the second. Keep in mind now, though, Zoda does have that stall warning, and it will be Alvarez's choice to start the third. Zoda dropping down to the knee. Now he fires in kind of square here, and this is where Alvarez is really good. He's getting his hips on guys and running corner. Short time to go here. Zoda trying to hold on to that leg, but the weight and the hips looks like it's going to be too much for Alvarez. He's going to tie the match at 5.
And in the driver's seat because he's got a choice. He was able to answer with that late escape in the first. Zoda didn't have the opportunity to respond there in the second. 5-5 going to the third. Alvarez getting set underneath.
And this is where you got to be really careful with Alvarez. Zoda did a really nice job in that first period. Got in real deep on that double and got his feet up off the mat. You can't just go firing in on a guy like Christian Alvarez. Really big guy. He's going to Delaware next year to play football. It's not going to be able to wrestle like that and not feel that pressure from the hips. Now Alvarez up to his feet again. Looks like Zoda was able to stay with him that time as he takes him out of bounds with 1:49 to go. And
the decision, I believe, is being made by the Malvern corner. They believe he should be cutting.
Zoda confident in his top position, but I wonder if, yes, that's the right call to give the escape. Give yourself a minute 40 to try to go get a takedown as you now trail 6-5.
And savvy in a very tight match. You don't want to pick up a stall call there. He made the attempt to return, saw it wasn't going to happen, pushes him away. Clean break, 6-5 up on the board for Alvarez, 126 and counting.
And this is where Alvarez likes to be as well, likes guys firing in on him. If you're Zoda, you got to pick your attack. Make sure you're getting a corner or in so deep, getting those feet up off the mat of Alvarez, not giving him an opportunity to sprawl, get that weight on you and try to run corner. No stall warnings on Alvarez either the Malvern prep corner minds Zoda. Double, it's trying to switch to single. Zoda trying to get strong here. Alvarez sliding off.
Head wheel? Oh, I thought he was going to head wheel there for a second.
And Alvarez doing a nice job. Catches the far ankle, circling to the right. Zoda holding on for dear life here. Gets back to his lock. Just trying to keep himself alive in this position, possibly earn a stalemate. And Great effort there by Zoda to hang on to that leg.
The horsepower to plant on the mat. He started to head lift. Had he been able to get his head out to the far side and head wheel, you know,
be able to take that weight off you, get it to the mat. Down to 30 seconds to go. This is where Zoloda's got to find a sprint. Find one more attack here. No warnings on Alvarez. Single leg for Zoda once again. Does he have the horsepower to be able to pull it in this time? With just 13 seconds to go. Alvarez staying heavy, fighting the ankles.
Not only is he heavy, he's very strategic with his hand placement, getting that far ankle.
So guys
keeping
can't drive
the
up
feet
with
out
his
of the
feet.
mat. Excellent technique.
Great match. Great effort there by Zoda late trying to get that finish, but it's Christian Alvarez able to use his defense, and he gets it done 6-5, and he's your 285-pound Powerade champion. We'll be back in just a moment after our awards with our 107-pound championship final between number 1 Cooper Deputy and number 10 Maximus Corey.
Finishing in 6th place from St. Edward, Aiden Peterson. The 5th place finisher is Cole.
Back here to a 107-pound championship final, the 2025 Powerade. Got number 1 Cooper Deputy of Chestnut Ridge. He's going headlock. He's taking on Maximus Corey out of Notre Dame Green Pond, and good recovery here by Corey so far. Man, that was kind of impressive. Deputy went pick to duck the arm, then ripped the headlock. Corey able to roll all the way through and catch the leg to stay alive there. It's a shot by Corey, and Deputy coming out here firing early.
And it's not like he's firing against some, you know, any first round matchup. This is number 10 in the country, Maximus Corey, 6th of the Ironman, Beast of the East finalist.
Backing on a single leg is Deputy, bringing it up off the mat. Shin whizzer by Corey, but locking up near side cradle is Deputy. He's got the hands locked. Takedown awarded. Now picking up near fall swipes over there on the edge. See if he's able to adjust his lock here and keep him in bounds, but just takes it out of bounds. 4 near fall for Deputy, and he leads 7-0, just 105 into the first.
Cooper Deputy, freshman, 13-0 on the season. He was a 5-time PJW state champion. I'm not sure there's a middle school tournament in the country that translates to high school and NCAA success more than the PJW system. It's just, you know, there's no AA, AAA, whatever, and the guys that have success there almost always have success at the PIAA level. He won your 103-pound weight class a year ago. King of the Mountain champion this year. U.S. Open second, Super 32 second, Fargo first. Number 1 in the country for a reason.
Deputy continuing this high pace as he's throwing these clubs at Corey. Corey throwing level changes, trying to get Deputy to kind of react here, take away the positioning of the hands. So we're down under 15 seconds to go. Now double legs, switching off to single as Corey. Short time to go here. You saw Deputy kind of throwing his hips off to the side and trying to run corner there. Really high pace there in the first period by Cooper Deputy. He takes a 7-1 lead to the second. Going to defer choice to Corey, and Corey going to go down to start our second period off. Sliding the bar in right away is Deputy, but elbow slipped up. Official on top of it, going to stop it for potentially dangerous.
And it's, an arm bar of the 1980s really doesn't exist anymore today, that it's so difficult with the potentially dangerous calls. Just a change in perception and, super high-level guys. And if you look at Spencer Lee, super effective with an arm bar, but he's doing a reinforced bar, tilting off of it. And that one of the best statements I've ever heard at the NCAA tournament, Logan Stieber running a bar, and it kept getting blown for potentially dangerous, and Jagger's like, stop this. This guy, he's the best guy in this building at this move. He knows what he's doing. Let it go. That guy will be fine. We're just going to pick up some near fall on the way.
That's one of my favorite stories. That you every time we kind of get in a scenario like this, you tell that story. Absolutely one of my favorite. And probably true if Spencer Lee wasn't in the building at the time.
And the two different,
ways of going about it.
They're both run the bar and, the reinforcement, but, just Spencer rolling through a lot more, and where Logan a little more brutal and probably drawing a few more potentially dangerous calls.
Yeah, he liked to go bar half or bar wrist a lot more.
And Deputy gets called for potentially dangerous there on that guillotine. Earlier rounds, I saw him get. And there, I think the bar turned into chicken wing going forward. Any pressure on the forward axis is going to be illegal.
They are going to give the penalty point.
But I want to get back to that guillotine position. As soon as he got the reverse half on the guillotine earlier, he let go of the wrist, because then it does not look as bad to the official.
Yeah, sometimes, especially these smaller, more flexible guys, it can look real bad on that elbow when you start leaning back with the wrist on the guillotine. Deputy riding really tough here now with the claw. Getting a little high here. The official going to stop it for a stalemate, as it looked like Corey was kind of in position to start shaking hips and reaching to go out the back door. Deputy able to hang on as they call the stalemate. 35 seconds to go in the second. It's Deputy really putting on a brutal ride here in the second. Now going back to that cross body. Locking on the leg there and kind of splitting the legs out as he's stretching them. Now switching to that cross body, the guillotine on the arm.
Chirella coming. Not quite able to get it locked through the crotch. But here's the other thing that Deputy does so well. There may be some times that he's not looking to turn, but he looks busy.
Yeah, just really, really aggressive and putting guys in compromised positions a lot in the top position when he's switching from that bar to cross body to guillotine. And Corey, you can't blame him here in the third period. He's going to go neutral, try to get something going here on his feet and avoid having to go back under Deputy. Wrist control. Working up to the 2-on-1 is Corey. He worked out of this a lot in his semifinal. He's able to take out, Edgar out of Tristan Brothers Academy. Won that one 5-0 in tiebreakers. Kind of an interesting score out of tiebreakers, but I watched that match. It was a good match, but Corey likes to work out of that 2-on-1, see if he's able to get anything going with it here in the third. His Deputy goes collar and ankle. Nice job there by Corey getting that foot back. Shot by Corey. Going to go drag on the go behind. Rear standing here for Deputy. And he's able to just sit him to his butt. Going to get another takedown to go up 10-2 and going to go right back to work as he gives the escape to Corey. 60 seconds to go here in the third. Deputy's not finished here. Going to look to close out a major decision. Going to need another takedown. Corey fires it on the double leg. Chest lock for Deputy. See if he looks to go back to that drag. Corey able to pull up to seatbelt wizard position though. Official finally going to blow him out of bounds with 31 seconds to go. Deputy staying aggressive here late in the match. Now looks to go slide by, trying to get to that Merkel side headlock position. Corey was able to square. Now, Corey coming forward with the underhook. Deputy trying to control that free hand. Now he's ripping headlock once again. And was in a pretty good spot to hit it there once again, but Corey was able to catch that, slip that boot in as they roll out of bounds. Just 4 seconds to go on the restart. And you can see Corey wants, or excuse me, Deputy wants this major decision as he's firing off the whistle. Double leg by Deputy, just gonna run out of time as he plants Corey. Impressive work.
Number 1 in the country over number 10, 10-3 decision. Really cementing himself at the top of the weight class.
And Deputy, the freshman, he's your champion, 107 pounds, on course for 4 titles here now after winning his first. We're gonna head to our awards for our 285-pound medalists, and we will be back at 114 pounds, where we will see Chase Karenbower taking on Braden Lodier for our 114-pound championship.
Finishing in 4th place, Paul White from West Green. In 3rd place from Blair Academy, Kayla Newman. The runner-up at 285 pounds, Lucas Zoda. And the 2025 Powerade champion at 285 pounds by weight of a 6-5 decision, St. Joseph Regional's Christian Alvarez.
All right, here we go. 114-pound championship final here, the 2025 Powerade. We got Chase Karenbower out of Grove City in the gold, black, and white singlet green ankle band, taking on Braden Lodier out of Bishop McDevitt in the black and gold singlet red ankle band.
Number 16 versus number 17 in the country. Lodier, a junior, 10-0 in the season, PIAA state champion a year ago, but he did not place here at Powerade. 2 New Jersey losses in that tournament to PJ Terranova and Sean Kenny. Karenbower, 17-0 sophomore. He was 3rd in that PIAA weight class. He had a semifinal loss to Carter Chunko, who Lodier beat in the final. But Karenbower, your Powerade champion, a wild win over JoJo Burke in tiebreaker last year. Karenbower has also been on the podium in Fargo.
Is Lodier with the front headlock for a while there, and Karenbower able to tie him up. We're gonna get stalemated with 57 seconds to go in the first period. These guys both went through some tight semifinals here earlier this morning. It was a 1-0 win for Karenbower over Humphrey, while Braden Lodier won 4-1 in sudden victory over Esposito.
Yeah, Charlie Esposito, that was a weird position that Esposito kept ducking his head under, controlling elbows. Lodier was, like a T-Rex tricep grip on one side, underhook on the other, and really slow going. And then Lodier able to get the takedown in sudden victory.
You mentioned that kind of arm trap T-Rex position. We've spent majority of the first period here. Now it's Karenbower with the front headlock, and it's Lodier controlling that tricep.
And just flip the positions, and then that was the entire match.
You see that a lot in these lighter weight classes. These guys are really quick. They're always firing off shots. Guys are able to catch them in that front headlock, and the bottom guys are really good in that position, just controlling the elbow, staying tight, keeping themselves square. Hard to get corners on these smaller guys with the speed they have. But Karenbower going to go down to start the second. Lodier going to work on top. He's chopping hard, trying to get to that cross wrist. Now slides the bar in on the left side. Now half with the right hand. Getting a little high with it is Lodier, but now adjusting back, trying to run this bar over. Half still with the right hand. Karenbower doing a nice job, getting his elbow forward from that bar and able to square up for the escape to go up 1-0.
Going back to last March, Lodier's PIAA Championship, really a breakthrough performance, a 15-5 major decision over Keegan Bassett in that semifinal. He beat Chunko the week before in the regional final. Chunko took out Karenbower, who I believe was #1 in the country at that point. And then Lodier 7-1 over Chunko in that final. Chunko just picked up a third-place finish at Beast of the East. So going to see that 107 weight class. I think they're really going to have some success down the line.
Yeah, Keegan Bassett with Bishop McCourt supposed to be in this tournament. I believe he's been out with injury the last couple of weeks, but we could see that playing out kind of similarly later on in March down the line, as all these guys at 114 pounds right now.
And, you know, Chunko's up at the heavier weight class, but, yeah, you see your champion, your third and fourth place finishers all set to be back in the field at 114 pounds this year on the AA side.
Karenbower going kind of collar and wrist control. Lodier kind of backing towards the line. Now dragged by Karenbower. Nice job by Lodier at first, at least able to catch that underhook, and he's able to stay in over-under position to stay square here, as it looked like a nice attack coming by Karenbower. Lodier able to trap it down for the rest of the period. He's going to go down to start the third. Karenbower, another guy tough in the top position, wins a lot of those tight matches. I mentioned won a 1-0 match in the semifinal over Brock Humphrey to make the finals. We'll see if Lodier is able to find his way to escape here. Now Karenbower able to slide the leg in.
No, he didn't get it in.
Kind of shallow here. Now able to beat the knee as Lodier was kind of sealing off, trying to prevent it. And this is where Karenbower likes to be. And it looks like he's got Chirella here. So he's got that wrist trapped through the middle of the legs, pulling that kind of arm bar back. Rolling through is Karenbower. Got a one swipe. Lodier able to free that wrist. Nice work there.
Great job choosing the correct way to fight down to keep yourself out of 45.
Yeah, a little bit confusing when you get in that Chirella position. You don't want to turn away from the guy because then he's able to pull you back. But if you turn into the guy, he can push you forward. It's kind of a balancing act of going back and forth until you can free that wrist. Now trying to turn in for the reversal is Lodier. Both guys with far ankle here. Lodier loses that far ankle for a moment. Karenbower doing a nice job keeping control of the far ankle and kind of ducking the foot. And they're going to go stall warning on Karenbower.
And this is a situation, you're on top, you're down on the ankle.
But it seemed like Lodier kind of started the scramble.
Well, there's where the drop down count in the NCAA. If the defensive wrestler who is on bottom takes the action and puts you on his leg, then they don't start the count. So I think the Grove City coaching staff kind of wanted that type of principle applied here, that it was really Lodier kind of putting him down on that leg.
And there's a caution on Karenbower. Just 47 seconds to go in the third. Karenbower now with that stall warning. He's got to be careful here. As Lodier up to his feet right away. Karenbower needs a return. He's able to bring him down for the moment, but Lodier bouncing right back up, looking for hand control. Lodier catches the leg now, gets under it. Gonna duck the ankle. This is where you gotta keep your feet free. Crotch lock for Karenbower. Now slipping the shoulder, gotta look up for that crossface.
That's two.
If you're Lodier.
That's two.
He's got Karenbower on a hip, on his back. It seems like.
That is a reversal, and start counting.
And
What are we doing here?
just 10 seconds to go here. Crotch lock for Karenbower. Lodier trying to hold him here. No reversal given. Once again, Lodier goes for it one last time, and they're not going to give it. Karenbower able to hold on and take the 1-0 decision. Man, I want to say that's kind of similar to how it played out last year in the finals against JoJo Burke.
Yeah, you have two Powerade championships, two, razor-thin matches that you're able to come out and get your hand raised. Congrats to Karenbower picking up his second title.
We're going to head to awards once again, and we will be back with our 121-pound championship between number 1 Landon Sidun and JoJo Burke of St. Joseph Regional here in just a moment.
That match with him last year ended the exact same way.
The sixth place finisher from Canada,
I got like deja vu when it was happening again, and like I couldn't like talk for a second, so I was thinking, I was like, I swear this happened.
finishing in fifth place
I'll have to
from
watch it
First
later.
Brothers Academy, Santino and Gurr. The fourth place finisher is from Montoursville. He is Brandon Eisenhower. Finishing in third place, Eric Handy from Trinity Camp Hill. The runner-up at 107 pounds, Notre Dame Green Bonds, Maximus Forier. And the 2025 Powerade champion at 107 pounds, by way of a 10-3 decision, Chestnut Ridges Cooper, deputy.
All right, here we go, guys. 121-pound championship final here at the 2025 Powerade. We got Landon Sidun out of Norwin in the blue, gold, and white singlet, red ankle band, going up against JoJo Burke out of St. Joseph Regional in the gold and green singlet, green ankle band.
Number 1 in the country, Landon Sidun, 21-0 in the season, 30-0 a season ago, 94-2 in his career. Last year, he pulled off a rare, Triple Crown. We talk about Ironman, Beast of the East, Powerade. He did Powerade, Beast of the East, and Doc B, going out to California, picking up that title out at Clovis. This year, he has a Beast of the East championship. PIAA title as a freshman, missed the postseason with an injury last year. Fargo national champion, committed to Penn State. JoJo Burke, New Jersey state champion, runner-up in that controversial match with Chase Karenbower a year ago in tiebreaker.
And it's Sidun going drag, able to get the go behind and get the mat return on Burke. Nice job navigating the edge there by Sidun to keep him in bounds and get the return.
Turns him back towards the center. Perfect execution. Lifts him clear of the mat, puts him down. Fishing out JoJo Burke's accolades. Escape the Rock champion. He's an honor roll student. And, the winning Ironman, Beast of the East, Powerade, difficult feat, but you often see the same guy. You see your Blair Academies, you see your Wyoming seminaries, Malvern Prep. You're hitting a bunch of the same guys. So I think it was super impressive for Sidun to navigate, different fields, come out unscathed, and you pointed out the state champions that he beat along the way.
Yes, he's working on a cross-wrist tilt right now. Got 4 near fall in the bank. But yeah, Brock and I were talking about this earlier, the run Sidun made last year across those 3 tournaments. Beast of the East finals, he takes out Pennsylvania state champion and #1 in the country at the time, Joe Bachman, in a tiebreaker match in the Beast Finals. Came here to Powerade, took out Paul Kenny, who we'll see in the next final, a New Jersey state champion. Then went to Doc B, beat Rockland Zinkin, a California state champion. All three of those guys winning state titles last season. Really, really impressive in three of the most high-level, most regarded, notorious top wrestling states in the country. But with those 4 near falls, it's going to make it 7-0 for Sidun with short time to go in the first period. We're on injury time for Burke. Looks like we're going to come back here. Just 3 seconds to go in the period. And Sidun's impressed me for the last couple weeks. I got to watch him last week and here. His top ability to be able to ride guys and follow their motion, be able to ride the hips, follow their rolls. He does a really nice job of just staying glued to the hips, not getting overextended, not making mistakes and giving up reversals or easy escapes.
His lateral motion is so good. He hits that knee tap, go behind, and you know the same concept and same principles he uses to be successful there. He applies that from the top position, able to keep himself on top and able to, you know, circle, follow like high turns and different stuff there. Always go in the right direction.
Sidun kind of overwhelming Burke right now as he picked up that escape, continuing to create motion, try to attack here. And this is where Sidun kind of takes control of matches as the second period. His pace does not change as the match goes on. He just continues to come at guys, fire, and he keeps good position as well as Burke's going to get warned for stalling as Sidun continues to drive forward.
And there you watch the right hand. His right hand will take it from the chin, go to the knee, and he's really not looking to secure that knee tap and pancake. He's just kind of setting up because he's so slick at sliding that elbow right out and running the corner.
And continuing to move forward as Burke fires off another attack. And it was Burke who actually in the semifinals picked up a big win over Fargo finalist Mateo Gallegos at DuBois. Won that one 4-1 in sudden victory. But Sidun just really overwhelming him right now with 1:10 to go in the second period. Takes him out of bounds once again. This is where a lot of guys have trouble with Sidun as well. He keeps such good positioning, kind of a square stance and low. And like you said, with his lateral motion, if you take a shot on him, he doesn't really keep one leg too far committed forward. He's going to be able to catch, run corner one way or the other, go to that knee tap. Another single leg attempt there by Burke. Sidun with the front headlock. Elbow control by Burke. Knee tap by Sidun trying to circle left. Good job by Burke here, staying square. He's going to be able to hold on, stay pinched down in there, and get the stalemate with 15 seconds to go.
And that's, you know, I traditionally think of a knee tap for longer guys being, you know, longer reach. Sidun, a stockier, shorter guy for the weight class, has so much success with it. And here with Burke's length, that showed a little bit of, you know, Burke was able to keep that knee so far away while pinching down on the elbow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good catch there, Brock. It's going to be Burke's choice to start the third, and he's really taking his time to consider the choice. He's going to go neutral, doesn't want to go back underneath Sidun after feeling that tough riding cross wrist tilt. The St. Joseph Regional Corner encouraging Burke here. Want him to continue to create motion. Try to open up Sidun here, but Sidun once again back in this front headlock. When you're down in that front headlock, you got to be doing, Burke was doing a nice job there, getting your head to the other side, and that kind of takes away that ability to knee tap as well. Your head's in the way now. Guy can't just reach out and get to that back knee. See the level changes from Sidun. He moves forward again, going to get another stall warning. And there's the point for Sidun, going to make it 9-0. Now double leg from Sidun, switching to single. Trying to go backside here. Closed whizzer by Burke, but nice limp arm. Going hip to hip with Sidun, able to get the takedown to make it 12-0 now.
So impressive working on the edge. We saw the lift and return here for his opening takedown. He steps out of bounds, scoops the leg, brings it back in, goes limp arm, catches the far hip, secures the takedown, goes out of bounds. 12-0 up on the board.
Really,
what a performance.
Really savvy work by Sidun in all positions so far. As we go down under 60 seconds to go, you see Burke just trying to keep those wrists away. Doesn't want Sidun chopping to that cross wrist again. Trying to get that leg scooped in. He likes this kind of outside figure four. And we'll start to work on getting to a bar on the far arm.
Yeah, it's fun to watch guys that like that figure four leg ride, whether they like the lock on the outside or inside. I've heard some arguments for both. I think I prefer that outside where you really have your right, as he's setting up, your right toe dug in the mat, the drive over the hip, and now he's going to the tricep looking crossface cradle or bundle.
Yeah, with the outside, like you said, you can drive off the foot. When you're in the middle of the legs, that's when guys can kind of cup the knee, get you sat to your butt, and you get in a little bit more compromised position. But that's going to do it. A 12-0 major decision for Landon Sidun of Norwin. As we mentioned, this is now his third title. First 2 years, a little bit of controversy here. Today, leaving no doubt. The #1 guy in the country comes out unscathed, and another impressive title for Landon Sidun. We are going to head to our awards for 107-pound or 114-pound medal winners, and we will be back in just a moment with our 127-pound championship final between #3 Paul Kenny and Max Dinges of Penns Valley.
The bronze medalist at 114 pounds, Christian Brothers Academy's Shiloh Joyce.
I'm pretty sure I just said Dinges again.
Our runner-up at 114 pounds from Bishop McNiven, Lodier. And the 2025 Powerade champion at 114 pounds. By way of 1-0 decision, Burke City's Chase Karenbower.
All right, here we go. 127-pound championship final here at the 2025 Powerade. Got Paul Kenny out of Christian Brothers Academy, getting to work with his underhook and short offense right away, and he picks up the takedown. He's taking on Max Dinges out of Penns Valley in the blue and white singlet, red ankle band.
Dinges is a sophomore, 17-0 in the season, third in the PIAA a year ago. Paul Kenny, 9-1 on the season, runner-up in Ironman. Last year, Powerade runner-up, Escape the Rock champion, New Jersey State champion, U17 world champion back in 2023, third at Fargo this past summer.
Kind of like a body cradle locked up there by Kenny. Now switching to near side, trying to get behind the knee, possibly get him to a hip here to secure the takedown before going for the near fall. Just going to let go of the lock, get the go behind for the takedown. And Kenny out to an early 6-1 lead. Really aggressive start here for Kenny.
Talked about Landon Sidun picking up his third title. Last year, the title, over Paul Kenny, a 7-6 tiebreaker decision, I believe. And you start looking at the names of the history of this Powerade tournament. Your three-time champions, Ray Brinzer, T.J. Williams, Teague Moore, Robbie Waller, Coleman Scott, Josh Kindig, Michael Kemmerer, Spencer Lee, Gavin Teasdale, just NCAA accolades. And, we had Bo Bassett and Jax Forrest. Jax Forrest will have an opportunity for the fourth. Bo Bassett, sick this week, not able to compete.
Kenny trying to hold Dingus on his back here as it was a dive-through attempt by Dingus. Takedown finally awarded for Kenny. It's going to make it 9-2. 2 near fall also awarded there out of that exchange as Kenny was able to hold him on his back.
And I sort of a similar position that I felt the reversal should have been awarded to Lodier. You know, when the guy's on his back, locked in there, that reverse grip really doesn't do a whole lot. And when you're sitting on top, your knees are dug in the mat, you know, you're trying to get near fall, and the Christian Brothers staff really felt that more near fall should have been counted there rather than just 2.
And Kenny going to take an 11-2 lead to the second period. Is Dingus' choice. He's going to go down. Dingus had a really impressive win in his semifinal over returning state champion and a former Powerade champion, Dominic Deputy. Won that one 2-1 in tiebreakers. And Dingus a guy normally able to slow the match down, really hard to score on typically, but Kenny's just found a way to get to work out of his underhooks and his short offense, and he's going to push him away for the escape here to make it 11-3.
Pulled the single leg, just pushed him on his backside game. And now Dingus fighting back, has a go behind here, rear standing.
Kenny able to stay on his feet, though, and catch that overhook, kind of in like a seatbelt wizard position. Kenny trying to fake out of it and maybe go like almost like overhook snap. Dingus definitely picking up his aggression here now in this second period. Doesn't want to let Kenny continue to get to work, kind of overpowering him out of that front headlock. Kenny dropping to the knee. Heavy right hand club there by Kenny, and he moves forward. Little spin move out of the underhook by Dingus, and Kenny drives him out of bounds.
And give both guys credit here. Even though they're out there and they're landing heavy clubs and this and that, it looks chippy, they keep their composure. They don't turn it personally and really show that fire that really triggers the official to make a call.
Nice go behind there off the snap by Kenny. Picks up the takedown. Looks like maybe a 1 count. It's going to make it 14-3 now. And, man, Kenny's just looking incredible with these snap downs. Just showing a lot of power. But, yeah, I agree with you there, Brock. They're getting pretty chippy and a little aggressive in these clubs and taps to the head and stuff. But these guys are tough. They're able to wrestle through it and have been in positions like this before, not going to get too emotional.
You know, when it looks like it's getting personal and like tempers are flaring, that's when it triggers the official to think that it's dirty wrestling and not tough wrestling. You know, you aren't going to penalize tough wrestling. You are going to penalize dirty wrestling.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I think the official's done a nice job so far of keeping an eye on things, not letting it go too far. Kenny going to go down to start the third. I don't know if we mentioned yet, Kenny recently making his commitment to Iowa, just a junior, along with his little brother, Sean, who has been out with injury since Super 32. Both of them headed to Iowa. So big pickup for the Hawkeyes, 2 pickups for the Hawkeyes right there, the Kenny brothers.
And really a 4-pack with the Bachmans.
Yeah, and both the Bachman brothers as well, making that commitment. Kenny possibly looking to close things out here. One more takedown would do it as he leads 15-3. And just staying in there, though, not making it easy on him. Shot by Kenny, now looking to go elbow-controlled slide by. Drops in on the double leg. Crotch lock here for Dingus. Head in the knee for Kenny, trying to circle him inbounds. Give himself more room to finish, and the official's going to award the takedown. I think the official got to make him known, like, match is over, takedown awarded to Kenny.
And what a sequence there. Missed leg attack, missed over collar, double leg that he secures. You know,
great motion there by Kenny. Looked super impressive in that final. He picks up the 18-3 tech fall, and he is your 127-pound Powerade champion. We got our other placement matches still going on here. We're going to wait for those to finish. Then we'll head to awards for our 121-pound medalists. We'll be back here in just a few minutes with our 133-pound championship final between Kevin Mylert and Will Detter at a Trinity Campbell career victory. But 133-pound championship final, our penultimate final here at the 2025 Powerade. We got Kevin Mylert out of Cedar Cliff in the black and white singlet, red ankle band, taking on Will Detter out of Trinity Camp Hill in the black and green singlet, green ankle band.
Mylert 13-2 in the season, PIAA runner-up a year ago. He was 4th at Beast of the East. Traded matches there with PIAA state champion Willamont Kai. He won on the championship side. Kai won the 3rd place match. Will Detter, number 17 in the country, 13-0 on the season. He's been 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd at the PIAA championships.
Mylert actually came into the tournament unseeded. Bit of controversy there, but has had a really strong run to the finals. Took out the top seed Stephen Myers, number 19 ranked guy in the country, in the semifinals, 4-3 to make the finals. Mylert likes to work out of this 2-on-1, getting back to it, and good reaction here by Detter, keeping head position right in the ear, right in that headgear of Mylert, trying to pry that far elbow, get that wrist free.
Then you got to make the distinction. Trinity Public School District 7 on the AAA side. Detter from Camp Hill Trinity Private School, they're AA. So we have 2 District 3 products here. Mylert and Cedar Cliff on the AAA side, Detter and Trinity on the AA side in District 3.
We're down to short time to go in the first period. See if we see either guy take a chance here late in the period. Both guys just gonna finger fight down on a knee to end the first. No score after 1. It'll be Detter's choice to start the second. He's gonna go down up to put the first point up. Detter had a tight one in his semifinal over Lucas Littleton Mascaro. Won that one 2-1 in tiebreakers. Knows how to win the tight ones. Knows the value of getting the first point in a tight match in case we head to the ultimate tiebreaker. Mylert dropping down to the legs, gonna drive Detter out of bounds. I could see that one being a stall warning if that happens again.
Yeah, you got to be careful taking the guys out of bounds when you're in the top position. And it's a fine line because a lot of your lifts come, you got to start forward motion. So you got to go forward to get the lift. And wisely, Mylert knows that it's a tight bout, understands how important, not picking up a stall call is.
Detter picks up that escape, go up 1-0. You mentioned it's a fine line. It's more so even the actual, if you're attempting to return, it's the optics of how you're doing it. You don't want to just run a guy forward. You throw in a couple little hip ins, try to get the lift, or maybe a return attempt here or there. It can kind of keep the ref off your back, but if you're just pushing the guy straight, it's not a good look, and you're likely going to get hit for stalling. Back to the 2-on-1, kind of tight pinch in there. Almost like a key lock there for Mylert.
I always like to talk about position choice and everything, and typically in high school, I don't think having that choice in ultimate tiebreaker is that big of a deal, especially if you're a good wrestler on top. I prefer the defer, put the guy down, make him go under you in your best position. But when it's guys that know that this is going to be a super tight bout, this is one of the exceptions that I think that choice in the second period and going underneath, I think that was
I think it is an advantage knowing you have that in your pocket if it comes down to it in the ultimate tiebreaker, scoring that first point, because then you've already felt the guy likely on top of you multiple times. you know whether or not you feel more comfortable going underneath or going on top.
And how many matches make it to ultimate tiebreaker? That's one of the things, and this and that. But this is the one, we both said if there's an opportunity for it to happen, we both kind of circled this one.
This one could be it, as both these guys wrestle tight matches, both having good tournaments, but not a lot of points on the board. We're going to head to the third with DeTar with the 1-0 lead, and Mylert going to go down. DeTar looking to put a ride on. He's pressuring hard out to that right side. Hand fight going on underneath there, and nice job by Mylert. Kind of controlled the hands before he got to his feet. Didn't have to worry about fighting him and try to break a lock once he got up. Was able to just run and cut away to tie the match at 1. We're down to 90 seconds to go in the third. Neither guy really having much of an opportunity to get to a score on their feet. We'll see who pulls the trigger here in the third.
And here's where the communication to Mylert needs to be made. Ultimate tiebreaker choices going the other way. Let's get this done on our feet. As I say that,
DeTar's
DeTar's not thinking about overtime. He's thinking about finishing here with a takedown regulation.
We're back kind of in this crotch lock position. DeTar ducked the leg. He's going to try to get his knees under him, pressure back, come through the middle. Crotch lock here for Mylert. And this is where he's got to be patient. DeTar doing a nice job, though, pressuring back with those feet, keeping him free, not letting Mylert lock up an ankle. But as I say that, Mylert gets a lock down below the knee. Now he's going to look to pass. If you're DeTar, you got to get pressure down on that left foot and come in to Mylert. Mylert continuing to try to pass. DeTar going to try to hold him here. And this is where, nice job by the official watching that. That's where a lot of knee injuries happen.
Such a great job by DeTar to sit and get his feet away, and then he put them right back in.
Yep.
So it was great execution, and then he let up for a second, let those feet get back and got past.
Good patience there in the position by Mylert, able to earn what was a potentially dangerous call, but ultimately a stalemate, and that's going to send us to sudden victory. 1 minute on the clock. We're tied at 1. Will these guys be able to settle it on their feet here in the sudden victory period? That is the question. Only had one really committed attack, and that was right there by DeTar.
And in that sit position, it's almost counterintuitive to stay on your butt, but it's the right thing to do. Like, typically you don't want to be on your butt.
Nice little drag there by Mylert. Now drops it on the single leg. Heavy shin whizzer here for DeTar, and he's able to time that kind of space as Mylert kind of let up to try to pull him back in, able to kick away and face, and he's able to defend. Now elbow off by Mylert. He's back in on this single leg. Shin whizzer for DeTar. Mylert bringing it up to his feet, trying to get the trip. Now it's DeTar trying to pass a leg, able to get it past. We're back in a similar position we were. Rolls reverse now is Mylert trying to get weight down on that foot, coming up towards the head, trying to hold DeTar on his back. Short time here. DeTar coming back into him. And we're kind of in a 50-50 spot here. They go out of bounds, and it looks like time ran out there. Oh, I think 1 second on the clock, actually. The official blew his whistle. They're just going to let it run out there, as we're now going to go to tiebreakers, and this is what we've been talking about all match. That was a great little exchange to end our sudden victory period. But DeTar going to go down first here in the tiebreakers. If you're Mylert, you got to ride.
Well, you got to ride. You got to try to win here. You got to wait quickly, and you got to press here. If you are Mylert, you have to press for a takedown. He has choice. He's gotten away from you under 10 seconds 2 times in the bout. You really need to attack here.
Pressure for possibly a takedown or even a stall warning, because then that changes up DeTar's strategy. He doesn't have one to give then in the second tiebreaker. This is a duck attempt there from Mylert. DeTar able to stay square. We go to second tiebreaker, and Mylert's going to have to go down here And if you're DeTar, no stall warnings. You know you got to ride to win the match right here. Myler's got to find a way for separation here.
I disagree. Like I'm thinking no reversal. Don't put myself in a position where I can lock hands and give up an escape, or like I feel confident in him getting away in the ultimate tiebreaker period. So just no locked hands, no penalties, and if an escape happens, no big deal.
That's cooler heads prevailing there. Nice work, Brockite. Myler up to his feet. Hands broke by Myler, but nice job by DeTar, able to bring him down. He's got him flattened out as well. Down to just 5 seconds to go. And Will DeTar, man, just a really heady match. And the ability to get off bottom quickly, kind of making the difference there.
And making the adjustment. Myler was able to secure the hands on that stand-up in the third period. Just made the adjustment in tiebreaker, gets a 30-second ride out. He's your champion at 133 pounds.
We're going to head up to our main event. Jax Forrest looking to make history. Join group of 4-time champions, becoming just the 7th. In our final bout of the night at 139 pounds, it'll be Jax Forrest taking on Carson Brown here in just a minute.
The sixth-place finisher from Bishop and Devitt, staying is your fifth-place finisher. Finishing in fourth place from St. Joseph Regional, Mikey Bautista. The third place finisher from Chestnut Ridge, Dominic Deputy. Your runner-up at 127 pounds, Ben's Valley's Max Dinges. And the 2025 Powerade Tournament champion. By virtue of a technical fall victory, 18-3 in 4 minutes and 52 seconds, Christian Brothers Academy's Paul Kenny.
All right, here we go, folks. Main event of the night, 139-pound championship final here, the 2025 Powerade. We got number 1, Jax Forrest of Bishop McCourt in the red, black, and gold singlet, red ankle band, taking on Carson Brown of St. Ed's in the black and gold singlet, green ankle band.
Carson Brown, a senior, 13-0 on the season. Ironman champion this year. Powerade champion a year ago. Ohio State champion, Escape the Rock champion. And he's a 3-time Ohio State champion.
And it's Brown in on the single leg early. He's got that bottom leg hooked. Trying to pop his head, cutting off to the double. Forrest continuing to wrestle, now kind of hitting a switch. And now Forrest able to drop in, kind of switch cradle position. Rolling through is Forrest. Now keeping the feet elevated. Far ankle control for Brown. Now Forrest also with far ankle control, getting that elbow buried behind the knee, and an awesome scramble to start this one out by both guys.
And, reminiscent of the Aaron Seidel final, they came out, they got into this wild flurry.
Yeah, an amazing PIAA final last year. Forrest able to come out and take it over Seidel. And kind of a shot to a sucker drag there by Forrest, able to get the takedown. He goes up 3-0. Brown with a quick escape. And firing right back in is Brown. Re-attack for Forrest. Got the leg shelved. Roll through by Brown, looking to pass. Forrest keeping weight on it, continuing to sit into him. Forrest trying to hold him on his back here. Brown's going to have to turn down as he was close to giving up that near side cradle. Going to make it 6-1.
I got Brown's accolades in, but I did mention number 4 in the country, committed to Pittsburgh. So, the local people here get ready to see him in Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Jax Forrest, Bishop McCourt, he's a senior, 5-0 on the season.
And Forrest getting a little bit out of position. He was trying to go to that ball and chain. Hips fell off, and Brown was looking for the reversal. Going to get stopped for potentially dangerous on the leg there.
Forrest 138-3 in his career. 2-time PIAA state champion. tournament finishes this year, he has nothing listed. He hasn't really competed at the high school level. Other accomplishments, I think we have too many to list. He listed that he's got 6 siblings. Let's skip over the senior world team, wrestling for a medal.
U23 World Championship.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of siblings. That's something he's proud about. But that'll do it for the first. Forrest going to take a 6-1 lead to the second period. He's going to go down. We talked about in the opening, Forrest looking to become just the 7th 4-time Powerade champion here. And Forrest able to get the reversal. Extends his lead now to 8-1, just 11 seconds into the period.
Early in the broadcast, we talked about the accolades of the 3-time champions. Then you get up into your 4-time champions, Ty Moore, Marshall Peppelman, Nico Megaludis, Jimmy Gulabon, Chance Marceller, Luke Pletcher. Luke Pletcher was #1 seed going into the canceled COVID tournament. Chance Marceller makes a world team, multiple-time All-American. Nico Megaludis, national champion. Jimmy Gulabon, NCAA All-American. Forrest with the near side cradle. Is he gonna go?
He's got this tight. A lot of time to work for it. Brown fighting. Forrest trying to adjust his lock, get that elbow behind the knee. 4 near fall in the bank for Forrest. Mentioned there's been rumors kind of circulating around. Is the near fall get put up for Forrest going to make it? I believe it should be 12-2 for Forrest. 14-2 actually, as he looks to go assassin. Nice shot by Brown, just taking the legs, firing off a double leg for the reversal, going to make it 14-4.
Yeah, you started to allude to those rumors. You know, you have the social media posts of Jack's Forrest senior night. Tonight in the Parade of Champions, they were talking about it possibly being the last match of his high school career. And we're going to get some definitive answers.
Nice slide by Brown. Now he's able to pick up a takedown. That's going to make it 15-7. With the escape, going to be 16-7. Now a takedown attempt here off the slide by Forrest. Brown hips in, looks to hold him on his back. There's another takedown for Brown. That's going to make it 16-10 as their scoreboard getting a little bit behind, creating some confusion. But Brown making a strong comeback here. So it's now 16-10, and he's got Forrest buried with short time to go in the second. Man, kind of a crazy finish to that period. I'm not exactly sure what the score is. So we've had a couple different iterations up on the scoreboard. Our officials are going to talk about it.
You were play-by-playing through it, and I think your 16-10 is correct.
I do believe as Forrest got takedown for near fall, so that got it to 15. Escape made it 16-10 off the last takedown by Brown.
And let's not gloss over the situation there. Jack's Forrest was in deep trouble when he got stepped over.
He's going for the turn. Brown was able to step over. He really had him in a bad spot.
Talk about the
there.
great equalizer in wrestling. The way you defeat somebody who's a little bit better than you. You always have that fall available. You know.
Yeah, and
14-10.
we're still talking about the score here, but yeah, Forrest was really in trouble there for a moment. Brown making a strong.
And where the situation started, the 3-point takedown for Brown went up on
for Forrest. And now they put up 16-10 on the board. The St. Ed's corner not happy with that. They want it back to 14-10.
He does the cradle for 4. 12-2.
Crowd getting a little fired up, getting into this. It's a little bit of hype added to the match.
Yeah.
You can't really hate it. As you see everybody in the gym crowding around the mat now to watch this final period play out.
And you know, just as I'm getting into the 4-time champion stuff, all this action happens. Typically, I'm really meticulous about following the score and making sure everything is right. You were calling it, you know, action for action. You had it at 16-10.
I do believe 16-10 is correct. We're going neutral to start the third. 2 minutes on the clock, and Brown firing right back in. He's in on the single leg. Forrest getting back to his scrambling here. Going shin whizzer. This is where Forrest can create a lot of good action, but he kicks away there. Not something you really see him do. And it's Brown who's able to pick up the takedown. It's now 16-13. No escape awarded yet. As Brown trying to cut here. Forrest controlling the elbow. Now 17-13, and Brown making a push here, unlike something we've ever really seen against a guy like Forrest. Headgear got all jacked up for Jax.
And you know, we talked about, you know, he doesn't have any accolades this year. He didn't wrestle earlier in the season. You need that time off when you wrestle a schedule like Bishop McCourt does in the folk style, and then he's in the freestyle. He goes to the Senior World Championships. He goes to the U23 Championships.
Training in Oklahoma State's room a lot. Just a lot of miles getting put on Jax Forrest. I think he's only wrestled 2 matches this season. Coming into this tournament in a couple dual meets, that's a lot of good time for Jax to kind of let his body recover, get a little bit of a break. But Brown firing in once again, in on the single leg. Shin whizzer for Forrest. Near side cradle locked up for Brown, and he's looking to go suicide here. Forrest keeping on his base here. Not on a hip yet. No takedown awarded. Far ankle away for Forrest. Going back to the shin whizzer, and they're going to go out of bounds with 31 on the clock. A nice job by Forrest, as the crowd's kind of saying he was on a hip. He was able to stay up on that knee while in that cradle. Knows the positioning there.
Jason Nolf, slip your arm out, post over top of the cradle. I thought we were going to see that from Jax Forrest.
Now it's Jax who catches an underhook, was looking to go to the far ankle. Down under 20 to go. Now it's Forrest looking for the go behind. He's able to catch far hip, drops to the ankles, off the go behind. And there's another takedown for Forrest. It's gonna make it 20-13 with 7 seconds to go. And man, what a show for the fans this has been. Just 7 seconds to go on this restart. You know Brown's gonna come with a sprint here. He's not done fighting. We're gonna get a caution on Forrest. Brown up to his feet. Forrest just holding on here. Looking for a standing Peterson was Brown, but Forrest gonna follow. And what an incredible match. Everybody in the gym getting up on their feet, giving a standing ovation for those two. It's Jax Forrest coming out on top, 20-13. And he now becomes just the 7th 4-time Powerade champion in history.
Tournament director Frank Volcano bringing in the banner there for Jax Forrest, 4-time Powerade champion. And, you know, so much speculation. We've talked about it throughout the broadcast. You're headed over there to get an interview. Check for that on FloWrestling later this evening. I'm sure the socials will be blowing